South Carolina lawmakers plan to spend $400 million to expand broadband all across the state. That's coming from the nearly $2.5 billion South Carolina is getting through the American Rescue Plan Act. State House reporter Mary Green explains why the state says this is needed.
More than 400,000 South Carolinians still didn't have broadband access at home as of the state's most recent data from this past fall. That's nearly 8% of South Carolina's population and includes nearly 50,000 of its public school students.
I wake up every day thinking about our 6-year-olds that don't have internet at home and the impact we're going to have on them if we don't get this right and quickly. We're going to have 6-year-olds that turn into 16-year-olds that are arguably unemployable. They won't have the digital skills they need to function in the economy.
The orange and red areas on this map are considered underserved, where people currently have little to no internet access at home. That's where the state's broadband office says South Carolina should spend its money. Meanwhile, the yellow and blue parts of this map are areas the broadband office says should be connected by the end of this year because of earlier money from the federal and state governments.
This map, without getting into the weeds, represents about $120 million of broadband infrastructure deployment.
South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn has been a major proponent of broadband expansion and is optimistic about the state's ability to take care of everyone.
South Carolina, I think, is going to build out 100% residents and businesses within the next 4 to 5 years. And that is something to be proud of.
The broadband office says as soon as it gets that American Rescue Plan Act funding from the General Assembly, it'll start spending it to continue expanding broadband. Instead of spending this money all at once, the office says it plans to use it in multiple portions through the end of 2024. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Mary, thanks. The broadband office says it's working with the State Department of Education to map the homes of students without internet access. It says it can use that data to prioritize its spending.
Officials in Bryan County are asking the state to extend an emergency declaration, helping them recover room in an EF4 tornado.
Governor Kemp signed that state of emergency after so many homes in the area were damaged, but that expired Friday night. As soon as the declaration ends, so do the services volunteers provide.
The area is getting quiet. The workers are leaving. So the number of meals being served is going down.
But there's still so much to do. County officials say they're working with the governor's office on a potential extension. In the meantime, they'll continue to do what they can to help with that cleanup.
The countdown is on for the start of the college football season. I know, I can't wait, as Georgia gets ready to defend its national title. Saturday, the Dogs held their annual G-Day game in front of a near-record crowd.
Sports Director Nick Proto is here now with how the Dogs are feeling after Saturday's scrimmage. It's a big one, Nick.
Yeah, more than 68,000 people packed into Sanford Stadium on Saturday for Georgia's 15th and final practice of this spring. This G-Day had a little different feel to it as the Dogs enter the season as defending champions for the first time in more than 40 years. Many of the key offensive weapons are back this year for the Dogs. Stetson Bennett still under center. Brock Bowers, Kearis Jackson, Ladd McConkey, he'll have those guys to throw to. The defense is where we'll see a lot of differences from last year. No more Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Trayvon Walker, just to name a few. Kirby Smart says these guys are working to find a new identity while still carrying over the standard and leadership from last year's team.
They can't emulate what some of those guys do on the field. They can emulate the standard, though. And I thought they really did that. For 14 of the 15 practices, man, I was like, dude, they had a great attitude. They worked really hard today. We made it tough, and they did it. So we're going to have a little different personality. We're going to have some grit, some toughness, because it won't just be talent.
Georgia opens up the regular season September 3rd against Oregon in Atlanta. More reaction from Athens coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Talking football, I love it. But guess what? Baseball is almost back here in the area. We talked to the Green Jackets as they get ready to get back in the swing of things here at home. Riley.
And the weather looks great heading into opening night tomorrow, and you got the green light to watch the car the next few days. We do have to look at some chilly mornings, though. We'll have an update on there just after the break.
Time and ball. It is almost time for that springtime tradition, baseball. The Green Jackets back in town tomorrow.
How fun is this? Our Will Volk talked to the Braves affiliates and fans who agree this season is going to be pretty great.
Richard Kalakikos has 2 tickets.
I've always wanted to come down here. I've heard them advertise. It's going to be exciting weather. The weather's going to be spectacular. And my brother wanted to come, so this will be the first time for brother and I.
After living in this area more than 20 years, he decided it's time to go to his first Green Jackets game. He's happy to know his brother wants to go too.
He don't usually go for things like this, but he was like, yeah.
And they're not the only ones saying yeah. The Green Jackets are seeing strong ticket sales.
Season ticket sales are up again for the fifth straight year since we've been to the ballpark, so it should be another exciting year.
General Manager Brandon Green says their affiliation with the Braves has helped, especially coming off the World Series win.
So that first 2 months after that, it was probably our best fall of selling tickets that we've ever had.
He's expecting big crowds all week to welcome the Green Jackets to SRP Park for the first time this year. All that's left is a little more prep work, but it won't be much longer.
When the Green Jackets are rolling, this place can get loud, so it's really exciting to watch the future Atlanta Braves here at SRP Park.
And Kalakikos is ready to do that for the first time.
Very excited. Go Green Jackets.
In North Augusta, Will Volk on your side.
He's excited. The Green Jackets are home all week, starting tomorrow, and the World Series trophy that will be on display at Friday night's game.
That's going to be a big one, too.
Yeah.
Green says that game is almost sold out, so a few more seats to be filled, and that'll be a stadium full of people. Sounds like fun, right?
Yeah,
Plus,
and it'll
it's great.
Yes, and then the loud crowds will be back. Riley, please tell us Mother Nature is going to cooperate, because it was a weird Easter weekend.
I know it. Luckily, the weather does improve for the rest of the 80s.
All right, thank you, Riley. The spring market at the Marina is planning to stick around longer than they originally planned. Today, the Marina's owner announced the market will run through June the 26th instead of ending in May. The market runs every Sunday over at the 5th Street Marina. There's vendors selling everything from food to toys to jewelry. If you'd like a laugh, a well-known comedian is making a stop in Augusta this summer. Brian Reagan will be at the James Brown Arena July 9th. He's had several Netflix specials and is also on the Amazon Prime show Loudermilk. Tickets go on sale this Friday. They start at $48.50. You can buy them online or at the SRP box office.
Well, is anyone taking just one photo anymore? Usually it's like, let's take a few to make sure we get a good one. Coming up next, we're going to show you an app that only keeps those good photos.
Court cases locked in limbo after district attorneys across Georgia tell the state they can't do their job because of a conflict of interest. We take a closer look at what this means for all of us tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Just into our newsroom, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office identifying 3 suspects in a shooting at Diamond Lakes yesterday. Xavier, Travion, and Charles Greenidge facing aggravated assault and theft charges. The incident report says the Richmond County Sheriff's Office telling us the men are accused of taking BB guns from a kid at Diamond Lakes Park and then shooting them with it.
A house fire in Atlanta left a 10-year-old girl dead, and authorities believe her teenage brother is the one who set the fire. Police got the call around 5 o'clock Sunday morning. 7 people lived in that home at the time, 5 kids and 2 adults. Investigators say they found the girl dead inside a bedroom with no windows. Police believe a 15-year-old boy was inside, but they later found him away from the home. A neighbor who witnessed the fire says the family lived at the home for 25 years, but says he only talked to them a couple of times.
I'm praying for them. If they need anything, I'm across the street, so if I can help them any way, I'll try to. It's sad, very sad.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. According to a family member, smoke alarms inside that home did not go off.
We're getting some new details on one of the mass shootings in South Carolina over the weekend. Flynn Snyder is in Hampton County, where he spoke with people living and working near that nightclub shooting early Sunday.
The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division says 9 people were injured during the shooting that broke out early Easter morning. The shooting took place at Cara's Lounge in Furman, South Carolina. An online flyer says the lounge was hosting an Easter bash when the shooting took place. Officials with the Hampton County Sheriff's Office say they responded to the lounge at 3 a.m. on Easter morning. They stressed that there is no threat to the community, as they don't believe this was a random act. Speaking of that community, the lounge is located near houses and is just across the street from a worship center. I spoke with the pastor there who didn't want to go on camera, but says that people are concerned that something like this happened, especially on a holiday like Easter.
In Colombia, entrances to several stores near where police say Saturday's mass shooting started were roped off today. Security could be seen roaming that area. Plywood covered a glass panel outside the Edge store at Columbiana Mall, and a sign outside the Gap store said it was closed today. One person there when the shooting happened says she was in line for food when all of it started. Take a listen.
We were standing in line, and then all of a sudden you hear, like when rain hits a metal roof, and like that tickling noise, you heard that for at least like 5 seconds, and then for a split second, that's what I thought it was, until I see everybody screaming and running like towards the exits. And thankfully all the Chick-fil-A employees were like, come on, come on, come on, we know what to do. So they proceeded all of us to go through the exit in the back.
Just in the last hour, the police chief also announced a second arrest and some new charges for the suspect arrested yesterday. Marquise Robinson and Dwayne Price are both now facing multiple charges, including attempted murder, 9 counts of aggravated assault, and unlawful possession of a pistol. Police are also searching for a third suspect. We do not have a photo, but they say Amari Sincere Jamal Smith is wanted on the same charges as the others. He is considered armed and dangerous. Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis finds himself at the center of yet another controversy, this time stemming from allegations in a divorce lawsuit.
News 12's Kennedy Harris has been digging into that situation and joins us live in the newsroom with more on this. And Kennedy, the mayor's wife is alleging this affair, but what did you find out about the person she claims he's having an affair with?
Yeah, we're now getting a look at the response from Miss Yvette Davis, Mayor Davis's wife. While they both agreed the marriage being broken, she says she alleges that that's due to an affair, and we're learning the woman she names was a consultant with the mayor's office. Yvette Davis's response to Mayor Davis filing a divorce names a woman he, quote, has an ongoing affair with. We started looking into the woman and found she owns a consulting company called Georgia's Consultants. A quick search of the LLC in Augusta's online check register found the city spent more than $34,000 with this company. Checks start in May of 2020 and end in November of 2020. We did reach out to the mayor's office, and he says the allegations made by his wife are false. And he says the consultant she refers to in the documents was used to provide support services for his office during the pandemic. So tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll take a closer look at Miss Davis's allegations and how your tax dollars might be involved, and why at least one commissioner says they're concerned.
Kennedy Harris in our newsroom for us. Kennedy, thank you. If you look through the photos of your phone, you're going to find a lot of duplicate pictures taking up all that storage, right? We're all guilty.
Oh, for sure. You can go through your camera roll and save the good ones for yourself, which takes forever, right? Or there's an app for that. Our consumer reporter Jamie Tucker shows you the app that does all of the work for you.
It is way too easy to take pictures with your smartphone, so we usually take more than one. If you look through your iCloud and your camera roll and you see a lot of duplicates of similar photos, you might need the app Cleanup. Cleanup searches your camera roll and iCloud storage looking for duplicate or similar photos like these taken just a second apart. Cleanup compares the photos and selects the best one and suggests the duplicates you can delete. You can go one by one yourself, swipe left to delete, swipe right on the photos you want to save. Videos take up a ton of storage. Cleanup displays videos and the size of the file. It helped me delete videos I don't need and freed up 44 gigabytes of iCloud storage. Yes, it can be panic-inducing to go all Marie Kondo on your camera roll. Deleted photos and videos, though, go into the recently deleted folder before they're gone forever. A pro version has other features such as email cleanup and delete duplicates in your contacts list. If you want to save space or just organize the photos you have, this app makes it easy. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Cleanup is the app of the day.
Yeah, that's a good one. Cleanup is for iPhones and iPads. The pro version you mentioned, that's $5 a week unless you cancel the free trial. Okay.
Might be worth the money, but it is a good reminder to at least spring clean your phone, Riley.
Absolutely. Hey, it's time of year for some spring cleaning, and it's finally going to feel a little bit more.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at GoKubota.com.
Okay, police in Kentucky searching for this dangerous suspect. The McCracken County Sheriff's Office caught this wild turkey right there in the act.
Oh, how dare he? The sheriff's office posted this video to their Facebook page attacking their canine unit. Now they say they might file a criminal mischief charge on Tom Turkey. Looks like he's deflating the tires there.
Right?
Not cool, dude.
He's lucky if their dog's in the car, that the dogs are in the car.
Turkeys are mean, though. They can be mean.
I mean, you think back that one turkey that was off Evans to Lock Road that we covered just a couple months ago. So they like cars for some reason. I'm not sure why, but
They do.
Take it away.
There were some on Edisto Island when we lived there in the summers, and it trapped my sister and I in a car in our driveway because it would not, I mean, like, we were scared to get out.
you got to watch out for those big
Yeah.
toms. They've got some gnarly spurs on the back of their legs, and yeah, they can attack. But hopefully that was a nice turkey. Hey, beautiful afternoon over 8.
We're all traumatized by turkeys. We need a break.
Yes.
Laura Warren joins me here when News 12 at 6 o'clock continues. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 vaccine. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
A lot of court cases locked in limbo after district attorneys all across Georgia tell the state they can't do their job because of a conflict of interest. What does it mean for all of us? The I-Team investigates.
But first, we would...
Riley, thanks a lot. A wave of gun violence over the Easter weekend. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office now investigating 2 deadly shootings in the last 2 days.
They're just the latest in a recent string of violence we're tracking all across Augusta. News 12 Sloan and Cohn joining us live now in the studio with a closer look at where these crimes are happening.
Well, the shootings have killed 3 people within the last 5 days. Here's a map of where they all took place. This morning, authorities found 72-year-old Johnny Coleman shot to death over here on Old Savannah Road. But on Easter Sunday and the other on Thursday, 2 took place on right down the street each other in the same neighborhood, killing a 21-year-old and a 24-year-old. And just within the past 2 hours, we're learning more about an aggravated assault at Diamond Lakes Park down here in Hephzibah that left a 14-year-old with shrapnel in his neck. And this is all following a trend we've seen all year.
These acts of violence are being perpetrated mostly in the African-American community and mostly by African-American individuals, especially young male African-American individuals, and that's extremely disheartening.
The last time I spoke with the Sheriff's Office about these incidents in January, Sheriff Roundtree says it's time to make a change. But still, we're seeing similar situations. In the recent indictments of the Arbery Anthony case, Redfield is 22, Beach 20, and Thomas 20. The most recent shootings, one off Meadowbrook Drive on Also Road killed 21-year-old Jawan Russell in the same neighborhood where 24-year-old Brian Peebles was shot a few days before. He later died at the hospital. On Easter Sunday, 25-year-old Xavier Greenidge and 28-year-old Charles Greenidge were arrested for aggravated assault at Diamond Lakes Park that left a 14-year-old with shrapnel in his neck. The incident report explains the adult males approached the 2 14-year-olds and started to physically attack them and shot 4 times in their direction as they ran away.
This is a cultural and a generational problem that just law enforcement itself is not going to be able to tackle it alone.
We don't know the reason behind these most recent shootings. We just noticed most of them followed the trend that the Sheriff's Office says they've seen since the beginning of the year. And the Sheriff's Office has a prevention task force. However, they're working to prevent an actual crime from happening. But Sheriff Roundtree told me then there are limits to what they can do, rather. And at some point, he says there has to be a cultural shift that requires help from schools, from the commission, and from families.
Such a complex pattern and problem to deal with, Sloan. Thank you. Some new allegations against Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis.
And they come from his estranged wife, Yvette Davis, in a new response to the couple's divorce.
She claims the mayor is having an affair with a woman we found is a city-paid consultant. News 12's Kennedy Harris has sorted through the documents for us. So, Kennedy, you say you found multiple payments to that consulting company.
Right, Laura, I found more than a dozen. Now, these are just allegations from Miss Davis. It has to be proven true. However, if it is true, it adds more questions to the expenses within the mayor's office.
I am a very proud wife of Hardy Davis Jr.
That was in 2010. Mayor Davis was joined by his wife, Yvette Davis, as he took the oath of office to serve in the state Senate. Now they're calling it quits after 28 years of marriage. Through pages upon pages of documents, allegations of an ongoing affair is where the concern begins. Mayor Davis filed for divorce 10 days ago, and just last Wednesday, Yvette Davis responded. In the response, she named a woman she claims the mayor is having an affair with. We looked her up and found she owned a consulting firm. A quick search of Augusta's check register found not one, not two, but 15 separate payments to her firm. They started in May of 2020, the first check totaling $2,975. It was on the same day the company was reinstated by the Secretary of State's office. Payments continue up until November of 2020, a total of $34,425 spent. Mayor Davis denies the affair allegations, but he says the woman and her company did provide support services to his office during the pandemic, which is why she was paid. We can't see the specific invoices to determine the type of service, but each payment is labeled as economic development, public relations. The hiring of consultants is allowed under the mayor's authority, and he's admitted to hiring consultants for various reasons in the past. And again, the affair is just an allegation. I did reach out to some commissioners this afternoon. They had no conversations about this as a group yet. However, one commissioner did tell me he is concerned, and he expects there to be conversations on how the mayor's office selects consultants.
And we know you will be following that for us. Kennedy, thanks.
Also this evening, hundreds of court cases remain locked in limbo tonight because district attorneys want someone else to do their job.
It's not unusual for there to be some conflicts of interest, but what our I-team found interesting, the number of conflicts suddenly popping up. And as Meredith Anderson uncovered, more of them are popping up in Augusta than anywhere else in the state. In 2021, Augusta District Attorney Jared Williams sent more conflict cases to the State Attorney General's office than any other district attorney in the state of Georgia, and the numbers are staggering. When you combine the top 5 counties by population, you get almost 4 million people. Their DAs and Solicitor Generals sent a combined total of 41 conflict cases. Now, by comparison, Richmond County's population is only 5% of that. Yet the I-team uncovered the Richmond County DA sent double the amount of conflict cases than all of the ones from Fulton, Gwinnett, DeKalb, Cobb, and Clayton counties combined. Even before he was sworn in, Jared Williams confirmed he was planning to send a case to the State Attorney General's office because of a conflict. I posted his statement to Facebook December 3rd, 2020. 25 days later,
I got elected because people are ready for change.
He was officially Augusta's district attorney. It took him more than a year to send it, but the I-team confirmed the State Attorney General's office eventually received that conflict letter. But that's not the only letter like it he sent. The Augusta DA submitted more than 800 pages worth of 83 conflict cases in 2021. 83 cases he wanted off his plate and assigned to someone else, all for the same reason he first told the I-team. He's a member of the Hawk firm who is representing someone involved in a case. 83 isn't exactly a normal number of conflict cases from one district attorney. The I-team requested numbers from the last 2 decades, and here's what we found. 2021 was a record year for conflict cases, and by a long shot. The State Attorney General's office received 486 of them. No other year even remotely comes close. It more than doubles or even triples or quadruples the number of cases from previous years. Furthermore, the Office of the Attorney General tells the I-team in an email, district attorneys are free to decline our request to take a conflict case for any reason. It would certainly be helpful if a district attorney who submits 80-plus conflict cases would then agree to take on the prosecution of 80-plus conflict cases submitted by other DAs. But that doesn't happen. So far, the Augusta DA has agreed to take 3 conflict cases. Just 3 cases. And then there's this. Right now, the assignment of conflict cases falls under the State Prosecution Division. That's the same division responsible for prosecuting human trafficking, white-collar crime, public corruption, and cybercrime. The AG's office tells the I-team they have a single paralegal, so the chief prosecutor has helped out by contacting district attorneys across the state to take on these 486 cases, time that typically would have been spent prosecuting cases that fall within our criminal jurisdiction. In other words, this traffic jam is slowing cases down all over the state and not just conflict cases. The I-Team reached out to DA Williams, asking him to sit down with us, but he declined our request via email, writing, "Thanks for the offer, but I'm not interested in interviewing about this story. It's been done multiple times now." I responded with the following. "New data with the number of cases from each district attorney in the state shows you've submitted more than anyone else. Just being totally transparent and making sure you have an opportunity to respond if you choose." It has been 4 days and still no response. The second highest number of conflict cases came from the DA in Brunswick, where the former DA was arrested on charges related to how she handled the Ahmaud Arbery case. Voters elected a new DA who had 72 conflict cases. He took office the same time as Jared Williams and his 83 conflict cases, but it is important to note Fani Willis was elected in Atlanta the same time, an area obviously much larger than Augusta or Brunswick. She only had 8 conflict cases.
Meredith, thanks. As for Jared Williams' caseload, remember Columbia County recently split from Richmond County, so aside from those conflict cases, he has those cases off his plate as well.
In the meantime, both the State House and Senate passed a bill that would move the conflicting process to the Prosecuting Attorney's Council, which would be huge in getting these cases assigned faster. But it's sitting on the governor's desk. It's waiting for his signature, and Meredith will keep tracking it and let you know if he signs it.
Well, it was a very wet start to the work week.
And ahead in sports, hear what Kirby Smart has to say about Georgia's G-Day scrimmage ahead of his trip here tomorrow. That's coming up next with Nick.
Time.
Still to come, new numbers from the CDC show fentanyl overdose now the leading cause of death for U.S. adults from 18 to 45.
If you don't know somebody who is already dealing with this, you will very soon.
An epidemic we're continuing to investigate, and after the break, a South Carolina mom shares her son's story and her journey to keep other families from growing through the same thing.
The live I can.
New numbers from the CDC show fentanyl overdose is now the leading cause of death for U.S. adults aged 18 to 45. And here's a look at the latest numbers reported in the two-state. In Georgia, from May of 2020 to April of this past year, the Department of Public Health reported a 106% increase in fentanyl-related deaths. The most recent numbers from South Carolina are from 2019 to 2020. DHEC reporting a 105% increase. One Aiken County mom knows the pain fentanyl can cause all too well after the death of her son. News 12's Wrdw shares her story and how she's keeping her son's legacy alive nearly 2 years later.
It was him. Always smiling.
Crystal Kraft is seeing her son Clifton Bates the only way she can now, through paper pictures she carries in an envelope.
Spending time with cousins.
It never gets easier to share her son's story.
Clifton was, wow, this is hard.
He was 24 when he passed away. He was an outdoorsman, a family man, and knew to take care of his mother.
He loved to give hugs. Even at 24, he made sure that I got a hug and kiss before he went to bed every night. And I think that's one of the things that I miss the most.
Clifton died on July 14th, 2020.
He ended up getting something, and it was laced with fentanyl.
Doctors prescribed him opioids after getting his wisdom teeth removed. He became addicted, tried to get help, but ended up overdosing on meth laced with fentanyl.
I'll never forget seeing him laying on that floor.
Clifton had enough fentanyl in his system to kill 17 men.
I want justice for my son.
Lawmakers in South Carolina are working to cut down on fentanyl in the state with several bills. The state Senate introduced 2 bills. One is a drug trafficking bill for fentanyl. The other is a drug-induced homicide bill. Both work to increase jail time and fines for dealers.
We need this. We have to do something because it's not going to stop.
Kraft wants to make sure no other family has to go through this.
If you don't know somebody who's already dealing with this, you will very soon.
In Aiken, Wrdw on your side.
The drug trafficking bill is currently stalled in the Senate. The drug-induced homicide bill, that has already passed.
we did just get done with a fairly wet